today's card is finally something different. Positive vibes, and it reads, never lose your sense of wonder. Oh my god, this one I could go on and on and on and on forever. You guys know how I have expressed that I'm very difficult to impress. The best way I can sum up what I mean by that is that I don't need to put on theatrics and be a facade of something being thrilling for me more than it really is. An example of the theatrics part would be when you ever meet somebody who, for some reason, they have a very, very, very overblown reaction to everything. Say, when they laugh, it's like a really exaggerated laugh about nothing that's particularly humorous. Or say that you hurt yourself, I don't know, you bumped your hand against something, and they go like, ow. I don't know if people genuinely have that low a pain tolerance, but I'm someone who, unless there's blood being drawn and potentially a fracture, I just do not put on the theatrics of having hurt myself. The worst kind of injury I experienced in recent times, in which I could say I pretty much was like, ow, and I had to rub my head a little bit. I was working cash office one morning. This happened to me on 2 occasions in my 7 years working back there. And our safe is a ginormous tower. I mean, it's about this wide and it has 3 sections. It's about 6 feet tall almost. It has 1 top door, 1 middle door, and 2 bottom doors. I was rearranging the money in the middle safe. I am physically capable of pretty much entering it so that I can reach the stuff that's in the back. Because I don't like to do that while I'm sitting in a chair, because you ever hold a box of quarters or a box of dimes or a box of nickels, even the box of pennies. I don't know how much those weigh, but they are pretty heavy. You have to practice proper lifting technique when handling that change. I happened to enter the safe so that I could dismantle one of those and properly use our dividers for those coins once the box has been opened. And I just forgot like where I was in relation to the roof of the metal safe, and I went like, that shit hurts, because I don't know what the fuck this safe is made of, but nothing has dented it, nothing can move it. When you try to knock on it, it doesn't even have a metallic sound. When you bump things against it, it doesn't budge in any way. I'm telling you, it's absolutely indestructible. Now I understand why safes are such a big deal. And that thing looks like it weighs a ton, even if it were to be emptied out. I just remember that when I hit my head with that thing, it was unlike any other hit in the head that I have ever had. Not even getting hit in the face with a baseball bat did that to me. The way this thing makes your cranium vibrate, shake, whatever you want to call it, is on another level. Now that undoubtedly is not a theatrical kind of uttering of pain. And some of my coworkers have had it much worse than me. Some of them have run their face onto the door of the safe because it tends to creep on you unless you know how to like push it ever so slightly to where as it automatically tries to close itself. I don't think it has a hydraulic. I think it's just a hinge. But whatever way it's set up, that hinge just doesn't stop the door. It lets it continue creeping towards you. And if you lose your awareness and you forget about it, you can run your face against it. I think I never ran my face against it because naturally, especially ever since I wear glasses, I think my fear of breaking my glasses and how it would end my life is so great that ever since I wear glasses, my reflexes at dodging shit that's coming toward my face is just out of this world. The last time I got hurt was when my phone was new and I didn't have a case on it. I had dry hands, and when I have dry hands, my fingerprints don't grip as well. And that bitch fell on my face because I was lying down using it like that, and it had nowhere to go but my face. It landed about right here. So I'm like, great, this is gonna knock out one of my teeth. That was back in like 2020-ish. And I remember telling myself, that is a mistake. That happens only once. So after that, I tend to make sure that my phone is never hovering directly above my face. So I tend to space my hands out to where if it's gonna fall, it's gonna land on my chest and nowhere else. That would be the theatrics element of this. And then the other part of this would be when I'm not impressed by, I think, basic things, like say, no amount of you having money is gonna make me admire you or treat you different. No amount of you offering me to go, I don't know, somewhere on vacation is gonna impress me or make me go wild about it, the thought of it, the idea of it. No amount of you offering me a solution to leave my job and live an easier life is going to impress me. No amount of you driving a Corolla with a bling is gonna make me look at it any better. Be like, oh my God. I cannot tell you when was the last time I had a genuine reaction like that. It might have been food. Honestly, food has the potential of making me feel that way. But the reason I take the time to express all of that is so that you get an idea of what it is that has impact on me. The last time I can say I was impressed by something or someone, it was because of someone's character traits. That feeling of finally meeting somebody, hanging out with them, and being like, wow, we have such an excellent connection. That made my female part of my brain that's all about relationships and deep connections was finally stimulated well enough to where I could feel the joy, I could feel the surge of energy in my core, in my soul, and it just kept erupting. That is a feeling that I don't get very often, but when I do, I completely embrace it. For me, what gives me a sense of wonder is, of course, being curious. And there is a form of phrasing something that accompanies that. Like, I wonder about this. I wonder about that. Curiosity is one of the ways that I pretty much maintain myself mentally healthy. I just have to be in an explorative mood. Sometimes I see something about, I don't know, my car, and I'm like, I wonder what this is and when should I deploy it? When should I use it? What should I do in the event that A, B, C, D, E, and F? I read the entire manual. I did all of that. So there's really nothing that I'm like, about, because I've experienced the worn out tires, and I'm like, okay, I know now that when tires start aging really bad, you do start losing grip on the road, things like that. And then my other sense of wonder, it's like, oh my goodness, I really would like to experience something. My sense of wonder has to come from me. It is very rare that someone can put in me the sense of wonder in the form of attempting a new experience, because for the most part, there is a lot in this life that I have already thought about, and I know what I would be down with and what I wouldn't be down with. If you were to come up with the idea of, oh, would you like to go skydiving? I'll be like, okay. I know that the experience would be great if I were to do it. I'm not doubting it at all. I'm just saying that I'm not going to experience that surge of being excited at the opportunity of doing such a thing, because it's something that I have already considered and I have already processed how I would feel about it. That is something that, I guess because I was the invisible child and because I was always able to explore myself, get lost in myself, ask myself shit, and every single time the opportunity has been put on my face to experience something that I had already pre-imagined, my emotions turned out exactly as I predicted. I just know that I don't have room for doubt. I don't have a reason to doubt that that is the way that I would experience something. So for me, my sense of wonder currently is to continue to have those impulses, like, say, going out to Freddy's would be a great example in which I'm like, you know what? I have seen this place, I have wondered about it. Someone mentioning it kind of put it again on my radar. I make food reviews. They are fun. I have a great time. But most importantly, I like to go out and drive slightly longer distances. When I have a purpose, it's justified and I have planned for it. That stimulates my sense of wonder. I'm curious about a new experience. I get to experience the thrill of driving the car of my dreams. And I get to perform the act of driving, which is never a burden for me. It's genuinely an activity that makes me feel great. And I get to also share it with others in the form of digitally journaling, which journaling is something that I also enjoy thoroughly. Combined positive things like that is what helps me have my sense of wonder. I like to define my sense of wonder as it doesn't come very often, but I am aware of what are the things that genuinely bring that thrill out of me, that bring that sense of wonder out of me. Learning stuff is also another thing that I can say that does that for me. It's not just the learning of information, like, say, tell me a fact, I'll remember it forever, I'll absorb it, whether I do something with it or not, I got to learn something, boom, it's great. That's good, but actively learning something new, something useful, would be full of wonder for me. And currently, the one thing I can say I really want to learn super bad is how to drive a stick shift car. I have never experienced it. My brother kind of breezed through it. He showed me, but I never got to officially sit on the driver's seat and give it a shot myself. That is the one thing that I'm like, wow, since I like to drive, experiencing the learning of a new skill would be a wonder-inducing thing for me, because I'll get to compare and contrast my relationship with a car that's automatic and my relationship with a car that's manual instead. I know that that'll give me plenty of thoughts. For me, my sense of wonder is what out there can make me eager to continue to learn more, to want to explore more. It's just really difficult to instill that in me, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's not there. It's just that I have already taken the time to, even if I haven't physically and literally experienced a lot of things in life, except for food, which food is not very predictable for me, since of course you have to be able to taste and smell something to make that association. Outside of that, when it comes to physical experiences, the way that I have imagined things, it has always panned out that way, so it's like not shocking for me. And it might sound like a boring life, like everything is spoiled for me, but I'm just saying that thinking is one of my strengths and I'm not ashamed of it. It's something that I feel brings me a lot of power, and it tends to save me from a lot of disappointment too. Maybe someone with my attitude, one of the things that used to make me mad was disappointment. I think I developed this ability for my sake, if that makes sense. I think this was a very good note. I definitely will not stop being curious, but I like to be curious about things that are useful. I'm never going to be asking people stupid questions, and you guys know what I consider to be stupid questions, especially on the personal realm, the ones that I'll dismiss and shit like that. Basically, be a worthy investment of my time. That is my sense of wonder. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope it made sense, and I hope that you don't mind the fact that I take some of these topics and I twist them and turn them into my own thing. For me, that is the way that I can really show the whole picture of how I interpret something. I don't want to just go with like what the default flow of something could be, because that would be boring. Sense of wonder may have a different meaning, but for me, I think that wonder is attached to curiosity, and I can describe curiosity day in and day out. But my kind of curiosity is very specific. When it comes to people, usually my curiosity revolves around. My most recent example has to be when someone told me that they served in the military. I'm like, even though I have family who served, I have never actually sat down with anyone and asked them shit. So I started asking shit, reading back some of those experiences, even though they're not my own experiences. I'm like, I can imagine that. I can see that. I would have never considered that. Wow, this and that and the other. And then I ask more questions, so on and so on and so on. That is when you know that I'm exploring, I'm being curious, and I find it to be a little bit of a thrill. Now, if I'm not doing that with you, if I'm not asking you questions like that, if I'm not curious, or at least taking whatever you're saying and expanding it with my own thing, then that's how you know that you're not providing me with that sense of wonder. Don't be offended. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.